You lied to me.
All those times I said that I loved you.
You lied to me.
Yes, I tried. Yes, I tried.
You lied to me.
Even though you know I'd die for you.
You lied to me.
Yes, I cried. Yes, I cried.
Return of the Mac.
You deserve.
Return of the Mac.
Come on.
Return of the Mac. Oh my God. You know that I'll be back. Here I am.
Yeah, so it's true. The bus driving era is over. I think it was a good experience, and it allowed me the comfortability to like really think about, um, express my creativity and like just working within. Actually, falling in love with the creative process again. I think for a while I was doing it. I was full time during the pandemic. I was a video editor for 2 years, 2.5 years. And that was a great experience. Like that helped me really kind of learn like what it's like to run a YouTube channel and what kind of output and dedication you kind of need for that. So that was a good experience. But now being able to do YouTube and social media part time, that was a good experience. But I also know that the story behind what happened, like why I'm done driving a school bus. So basically, I drove for an activity trip, and what I usually do is I take my phone, especially for like instructions and stuff, for directions. I'll put it on a little phone mount that's suction cupped to the window, um, and I have a little headphone in while I'm driving, so I can just like listen to music and stuff. Because teachers and coaches don't really like the music kids like. Oh snap! It's about to start raining, but yeah, they don't really like the music that the kids like listening to. So because of that, I don't want to get into that conversation of what are we listening to? This is I don't like that stuff. But so, anyways, you know what happens? So that before I picked up the kids, I was watching a movie because I was killing time. Um, and you know how like Apple videos they like minimize, but you can still see it while you're whatever you're operating. Oh snap! It's raining. It's raining right now, but it feels like it's just a sprinkle. Feels like it's just a sprinkle. Should we go inside? Yeah, I'm not trying to get my camera messed up. Well, 1 second. We'll go inside. Get a little better. So not really gonna go inside. But where was he at? Anyway, so how I had my phone set up, it was up on a little phone mount, and the video was like minimized so I could have directions. But I think at some point I full screened the video like while I was driving, or had it full screened on the little phone mount, and the teacher saw that behind me, and so they reported me. And funny thing enough, so um, after that happened, I went to visit some friends, and I came back, and came back for work on Monday, and then that's when they pulled me off the road and were like, "Yeah, you can't drive right now because you're under waiting for HR to kind of figure out this whole situation." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, you had a whole week to get this done," honestly. But you know, it is what it is. I'm not gonna tell someone how to do their job. Anyway, so that went down. Then the next day, I was put on a route with a new driver. Mind you, this was a sped route. So sped routes are important because they're all timed, and like it's really important we stick to our time schedule. But before that, I was told like I drove I drove that first bit in the morning, and then I was told like I wasn't supposed to be driving. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I was on the bus as a para for the rest of that route, and we're supposed to have scheduled breaks, and I was on the bus from 10:45 to 4:45. So you can imagine how like agitating that is. So we were late to all our stops and all that. So how all that went down, this kind of made me upset. So I ended up turning in my resignation letter, because I just didn't like how that went down. But HR apparently ended up deciding to reprimand me, and they decided that the day before I turned in my resignation letter. I mean, you could type in whatever you want. That's not the point. So I resigned. I retracted my resignation letter. And a couple days later, after I went through retraining and all that stuff, I mean, at that point, honestly, I was just done. But I tried to stick it out because there's only like a week and a half left of school. So I was on the phone on that Friday, and I put my phone on my lap. Mind you, I should have put my phone away. I get it. I can already hear the comments. Why would you be on your phone? You just got in trouble for being on your phone. Like I said, I was done from prior. That's why I turned in my resignation. Anyways, I didn't even think about it. And then I got called in because they pulled the cameras, saw that I was on my phone, whatever. And they pulled it and it was like, all right, either you can turn in your resignation or you can wait for HR to make a decision. And most likely they're going to terminate me. So I'm just like, bruh, I'm out of here. Like, that's not to discredit like my bosses. Like they've been great to me. Like they've allowed me to take time off whenever I needed it, like super flexible with my schedule. It was really nice. But like how all the rest of that went down, it's like I learned, like I've known this for a long time, but when you're working for companies, policies and rules kind of overshadow a person. Like, not to say I'm bigger than the rules, you know what I mean? But I worked there for 3.5 years, and like how all that went down is like, all right, so this is how y'all feel. So I'm just kind of like, all right, I'm done. So, but also with that's kind of made trying to get unemployment like a pain in the butt, because like for whatever reason, I got denied for that. So that's kind of been a little bit of a pain, but I've been kind of been working on a couple things to kind of get that rolling. Because I think last year, we talked about in a previous video, last year proved a lot for me as far as what I can do creatively. And I think, hold on. Okay, I just had to fix the lighting on this. But last year showed a lot for me, like what I'm capable of doing, because I got to work with a lot of my good friends. As far as doing projects for them, I shot a wedding for one of my best friends. Went to Bali and shot a campaign for my homie who's releasing his next capsule collection. And then also went to Nantucket and filmed with my friend Stefan, who's a chef. So that showed me like what I really wanted to do, and help my friend Jeff film some of his videos for his teaching, for his paintings. Did one of those, and it's like, okay, this is what I want to do. And I want to make like docu-series for artists and athletes and chefs, because like I've worked in these industries on both sides of the camera. So I worked in food service for about 7 years, and I sold as an artist. I sold paintings while I was in college, and I was an athlete. So I grew up playing sports from like 6 to about 21, something like that. And that's kind of where I love those aspects. I love that. That's just like a part of me. And I really want to help others who are in that space to tell their story and not have to worry about setting up a camera, building out a story. Like I want to be able to kind of take that pressure off of them, because I understand what they're going through and like how they're trying to tell their story and things like that. And there's a filmmaker that I've been following for a couple of years now, Sam Snowden. He does a lot of his own videos with Create More, but he also works with Minted New York. If you haven't seen their docu-series there, it's amazing. It's like stuff like that. I really enjoy it. And this is like way back YouTube. So there was two series I used to watch called State of Nate with Nate Robinson, and Under the Armour with Brandon Jennings, like those docu-series vlog style things, that's like what I grew up on, and like I love that so much. And then also I can't forget like the 2017 era of YouTube was just peak. Like a lot of my favorite creators I'm found in 2017 that I've kind of followed throughout their careers now. So that's kind of where my vision was molded and created. So, or like what my taste in videos kind of come from. And also there's a couple new YouTubers that I like watching now, but yeah, so because of that, that's kind of what I want to do is not only I want to help other creatives kind of tell their stories and help build their aspects of the business and share their stories. I also want to do that for myself because I love travel. I love creating. I love making mini documentaries. I love making films. So that's really what I'll be building out here on this channel. And it's been interesting. It's been interesting, like having the time and the space, because I've always been a working creative, meaning like I've always had a job and create, and while I'm trying to create, so I do my 9 to 5, and then I get home and I'm doing like 5 to like midnight. Like having this time has been great to kind of really focus on like thinking out what I want to do and where I want to take this channel and like grow my business. So like my keys right now for the summer, what I'm focusing on from like at least up to August is want to finish my first animated short. I've had this thing sketched out for 7 years now, but I actually have the time, the skill, and the actual like vision for how I want this to look. So I'm gonna focus on that, and then I'm trying to get my drone license, because having a drone license kind of opens up a lot of side opportunities, not only just to work in film, but also there's a few other industries that need drone work that can take me a few minutes, but I can make a nice chunk of change just as like a side funding business whenever I'm not working on my projects or have to be on working with clients. And also it helps like with travel. Like if I have a drone license, I can work commercially, and expand who I can work with, especially like brands like DJI and things like that, ones who have drones, and like you need a license to work commercially with your drone. So that's what I really want to tackle, get that done. I took the test the other day and I got over 50%. And that's like from not having any information, like not even trying to study or anything, like off rip, I got just over 50%. So I'm like, all right, cool. It's not as hard as I thought, because I'm not a test taker. But that was encouraging. So I'll be able to tackle that this summer. So those are my top 2 things that I'm working on these next couple months, and like just building out this process of where we're going next. What's next? Yeah. Am I upset of losing a job? In a way, of course, because like everybody, it's not fun to be encouraged to leave. Or did I quit? I don't really know. It's not like I'm afraid to be fired, but like logistically, if you get fired, that makes it hard to get unemployment. So I'm like, But I am doing okay as someone can be. I'm doing all right, because for me, I think emotionally I was already like detached from this job a while ago. And so, yeah, because of that, I'm not afraid to leave. I'm really not. And I've always felt like I need to work for myself because of how I am in a workplace. I just know that sometimes I think people just take their jobs way too serious, and it's not that deep. And the only way I can really control that is working for myself or being collaborative with other people, working with brands. That's where I know in some aspects I need to clean up that mentality to be a better someone to do business with, but also know that it's not that deep for me. I know I got to make money. I know I got bills to pay and all that stuff, but it'll happen. And just honestly, I want to be a decent person, and I want to be around decent people who I work with. So Not to say the people I worked with at the bus barn weren't decent. Like they're all dope people, like super cool. But I think just as like institutionally, things are just jacked up, and I'm just like, nah, I don't need to be here, bro. So, but yes, that is the update. That is where we're at right now. That's where this channel, Groovy Food Studios, is going. Thank you for hanging around. I appreciate y'all. And yeah, this next chapter is going to be a wild ride, I think, because betting on yourself is, it can, on paper, it may feel like it's scary. But something I learned, because I have a degree in kinesiology. So there's this thing in your body called satellite cells. That's why people who were active when you were younger can pick up working out later on in life, because your body is already in tune to that. And I think that applies creatively as well. If you've had some success in some avenue of your creative process earlier in your career, I think no matter what time you pursue that in where you're at in life, I think that makes it a little bit easier to bet on yourself, because you've seen it work. You haven't seen it work on big scale yet, obviously, like that's part of the journey, but all you need is a little ounce of success to know that it works. And that's where I'm at. I know that it works. I know I can do good work. I know what I'm capable of. And now we're in the thick of it. We're going to see where this journey takes us. So thank you for tapping in. It's your boy Groovy Foo. I'm gonna holler at you later. See you next week. That's what I'm working on. I'm trying to post a video every week for as long as I can keep it up. So I'll see y'all next week. It's your boy Groovy Foo. Peace.